Hey, Mikey back again with our display table videos. And this is part three. Today we're going to be joining up the edges of those boards we faced yesterday, and we're going to get them glued up. So here you go. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, I finished running these through the planer. So they did get jointed or faced on one side. I cleaned them up to get them flat on one side, and then I ran them through the planer. So now I have a consistent 1 inch or 1 1/16 in thickness now. And before I ran them through the planer, I did transfer my sizes and my numbers to the edges so I won't lose them. Okay, I did that off camera, but now once before I go to joint the edges and get ready for glue ups, I'll transfer those numbers up to the top. I'll look them over and decide which is the best for the top and which is the bottom. And I'll put all my writing on the top surface before I glue things up. So these are going to sit now overnight again. I relieved a little bit more tension on the wood fibers by running them through the planer and the joiner on one side each. So before I join them now, they'll sit for overnight. And then in the morning, I'm going to joint the edges, and then I'm going to glue them up. And then once they're glued up, then I'll size it. We'll run them through the wide belt sander, bring it down to the finished size. We'll cut out the radius on the two round tops, and we'll cut the two shelves to size. And then we'll get into the spray booth and get a clear coat on here. All right, there you go. Some of these are really way too crooked. It's going to take a lot of work to join them. You see how much of an opening there is here? These have quite a bit of a crown to them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my slider. These are all okay over here. Just a couple here. Let's move the camera over to the table saw, and I'm going to run them across the slider to get a straight. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run this across the slider just to get this edge a little straighter. I don't know if you can see here. It's up about 3/8 of an inch. It's got quite a bit of a crown. So that's what I'm going to just get kind of straight by hand, and then we'll go over to the joiner. Okay, I gotta cut this white streak out of here. I don't know if you can see it. There's some sapwood right here. I'm gonna cut that out of there because I don't really like that. attention here, but if you noticed, I was reversing every side against the fence. I started out like this, and then I would do the opposite side against the fence. Each one I would do opposite. This way, if my fence right now should be set at a dead balls on 90-degree angle from the surface of the joiner. But if that fence is out just a hair, for whatever reason, and I surfaced them all with, say, the bottom against the fence, then I'm going to, if there's a slight angle there, I'm going to wind up having a curve here. So by flipping every one, this one is from the face, this one's from the bottom, this one's from the face. This is from the bottom, face, bottom, you get me? So what that does, it counteracts any discrepancy in the angle of the fence. So it neutralizes it, okay? Now you saw the triangle I drew. That was just so that I would know which piece goes where in case when I go to glue them I move things off. But now I want to make sure everything is exact. Okay, now I got to joint the pieces for the countertop and that lower shelf. All right, so that's what these two sets were. I want that one to look. I mean, I love wood because of, every piece of wood is different. No two pieces are alike. But at the same time, I've got 3 pieces of wood here, and one of them, I don't know if you can see it here or not, it's got a lot of like flitches in it. It's shiny, okay? I don't want to put 2 pieces together without it and then have this on the end. I'm going to try to balance it out by putting that piece in the center, all right? So kind of, instead of seeing it wouldn't look quite right in my eyes to have two boards and then suddenly one looking kind of strange. So by putting that in the center and balancing 2 equal ones on the outboard, that kind of makes things look a little better to me. All right, let's get these jointed. I'm ready to glue these up. And I gotta apologize if this looks a little bit dark in here. That's because it's nighttime. And one of my lights is out right up above here. And I don't have time to go change it. Got to get these glued up, and I don't have time to go change that light. It's a metal halide light, and it takes a little while to get those things swapped out. So I'll do that tomorrow. But yeah, it's about, what time is it? It's 1:30. No, I'm sorry. It's 4:30 in the morning. All right. Yeah, I'm rushing to get these done because the customer needs them by the middle of the week. It's Sunday night, Monday morning technically, and if I don't do this, if I didn't come and do this now, I wouldn't have it ready. I mean, if I just took the material the day I got it here off the truck, Friday, I'd have had it all finished, all glued, cut, sanded, sprayed, everything by now. But like I said, I like to let my material acclimate. So, yeah, you saw me. We faced them on the joiner and then we ran them through the planer. And that was yesterday afternoon. And then I let it sit through the night. And I came back here about 2:30 in the morning. Actually, I had just came back from New York. I had going up to New York, which is about an hour and 20-minute drive by car, but I went out by train, which is a 2.5-hour drive, and I picked up my daughter's SUV to bring it back home from a ski trip she had been on. So I got back about 2:30, so I just came straight to the shop, get a head start on gluing this stuff up. So once I get this glued up, I'll head home and I'll sleep until, I'll grab about 4 hours sleep. 4:30, I'm only going to get about 3 hours sleep. It should take about a half hour to glue these and get them clamped. Not quite a half hour. If I'm home by 5:30, I'll be all right. I'll sleep till 8 o'clock. I want to get this heavy glue off because from here, this is too big now to go through my planer. So this is going to go through the wide belt. And we want to have the least amount of glue possible when we run it through the wide belt. This is Titebond number 2. It's pretty much the only glue I pretty much use in the shop here, except when I'm doing exterior work. And for that, I usually use the West epoxy system. I'm going home to grab about 3 hours sleep right now. It's almost 5 o'clock. Yeah, you can see on the wall clock it's almost 5 a.m. I'm going to go home and I'll sleep till about 7:30. I'll get up to take a shower and feed and walk my dog. I got a blind dog. My poor Boston Terrier went blind about 2 years ago. Poor pup. He's only like 8 years old, but at any rate, I'm going to go home, shower, walk him, and then I'll come back. By then this stuff will have sat for about 3 or 4 hours, which is more than enough to break it down. This glue really dries in about an hour. I could break this down, half hour if I pushed it, but it's going to sit here for about 4 hours, and then I'll come back and I'll break down the clamps, and we'll go over there and we'll run them through the wide belt sander, dress them up, and then we'll cut the radius on these two tops. I'm going to make a template, and I'll use a bearing bit to make a perfect circle. And then we have to put a bullnose edge on them, and then we can get some lacquer on them. All right, there you go. See you in a bit.